Fine.
Right. Welcome everyone. I am Millie Whitehead. I have been emailing you and I've probably spoken to quite a few of you over the course of the last, well, Poppy in your case, with your mother, the course of the last year. And here we are. Full circle.
I know, it's unreal. I can't believe it's happening a second time.
I know. I mean, seriously, this time last year, we all thought the world was going to be in a much easier place, but it seems to be getting as restrictive. Anyway, there are the differences between this year, as you know, is that the red list do not mean you are trapped in a country. The worst case scenario, the backstop for all of this is 10 days in the hotel at Heathrow Airport. Okay, now I know that that is something that everybody wants to avoid. So I will do my bestest. I'm sure that's incorrect English. I will do my best to prevent that from happening. But you have to make the decision, are you in or not, based on that is the worst case scenario. And if we did everything in our power to try and circumnavigate that, if we can't, you just got to kind of take it on the chin. So it's for everyone to kind of accept. Okay, now so far we have 11 of you booked on for the adventure program, and right now with 11 of you we can run that program as planned. If that adventure program shrunk down to say 6 or 7, I can still run a program for you, but we might tweak it. Okay, so it would still have various elements. It would still have a conservation element, an adventure element, a community element. It would have everything, but we might choose different places. So bear that in mind, and I will lead you along that process when we know what numbers we are dealing with. Okay, so what I want to kind of discuss with you today are your options. Okay, and we've kind of learned at the Leap we can plan only on today's knowledge, knowing that tomorrow we might have to tweak the plan. So today, with today's knowledge, the best option for you is 3 of you, only 3 of you have booked an Air France flight. Okay, and that Air France flight is completely refundable. So if you decided you didn't want to go, we would pay you back and you can get that Air France flight refundable. What we're also going to look at is if everybody says, no, Millie, we want to do this, we're going to go for it, and we're going to go, we want to go back via Spain, because we're just having that confirmed this afternoon, because then what we would say to you is cancel down that Air France flight and let's start again with a different flight route. Because one of the options, which we are waiting for clarification, is that you could fly from Costa Rica up to Mexico and home, or Costa Rica, Spain, 11 nights and then home, which might suit you all better because A, Madrid is closer to home, and you might all think actually that's a no-brainer. We would, as together, we would just hire an Airbnb in Madrid and be done with it. So we're just waiting for that confirmation. And then if that is the case, those that have booked their Air France, I would say cancel it down and we'll start again with your flights. Yes, Jonah.
Is the 11 days in Spain organised, or do you just, how does that work?
It wouldn't be organised. So it would be, so with these add-ons, going into Spain, we would suggest that you book an Airbnb as a group in Madrid, and it's pretty straightforward.
Okay.
To do that. you know, and some of you might have other arrangements. You might have friends that live there. I don't know, but that's one for you all to just kind of think about.
I did contact a friend of mine who's in the travel business in Portugal and asked her if she knew the situation. She looked into it, and at the moment, Portugal are not accepting any flights from Costa Rica.
Correct.
We talked about that on the telephone. So that, and I don't know whether that's then going to apply for Spain, France, Italy, other countries, you know, on the continent. Essential. It's only essential travel.
Yes, Spain, you could go in.
Right. Okay.
Spain, you can enter it. So if you went up to Mexico, you have 2 ways to go up to Mexico, and you could go up as a group, and we can send. There are 3 ways we could do it. Option A, I could get Chris to put together a whole Mexico itinerary for 11 nights. And off the top of his head, he said he would take you in from Mexico City north 3 hours to a place called San Miguel, like the pub, like the beer. It's a cultural city. It's not kind of Cancun style. It's not beachy. It's more architecture. It's a kind of jewelry destination, Mayan ruins around there. And if you did that as a group, he could lead it, and it would probably cost in the region of $1,500. So say 1,300 quid. Okay. Alternatively, what I know, having been in this position with the African lot before, is that sounds really good for parents and kids now, because you don't know each other. Okay. But I know, because, for example, when Kenya went on and I organised Egypt, out of 15 kids, only 4 signed up for the organised trip. Others wanted to do it independently, but together. So through Trailfinders, we found them a hotel in Cancun, not Cancun, but for example, you would find a hotel in Cancun. We would arrange the airport pickup. You would all go, you would all get it sorted, and you'd all be together and do it as a team, but you're not got a leader with you. Or alternatively, we could do that, and the third option is by asking Chris to send a member of his staff with you, and between you just cover the costs of what that guide is, number dependent. So those are the options. But from experience, I know that by the time you get out to Costa Rica, you've done your 4 weeks, you'll be feeling travel savvy, you'll meet loads of people that are going up to Mexico, and you'll just want to go to Cancun as a group of backpackers. You won't want to do it as an organised experience. So, tell me, what are you thinking? Where are you at in your head? Yeah.
Can I just ask, going back, a quick question on the Spain thing? So, but if you go to Spain, when in Spain for those 11 days, are there any isolation period required, or none at all?
None at all.
Okay.
No, that's absolutely fine. Again, on the admin email, we'll put
anyone else.
So I missed the beginning of that. I'm so sorry, and I realised that Maya has just run off. We're obviously just tag teaming.
That's fine.
So sorry about that. So sorry if this means repeating, but the options are they go to Mexico for 11 days with or without supervision.
Do you have any more questions?
Was there another option before that?
Yes.
That I missed.
Or a Spain option, which we're just waiting for final clarification, where everybody changes those that have booked their Air France flight, gets rid of that, and we start again, and you go with Iberia return from Costa Rica to Madrid, spend 11 nights in Madrid, then fly back to England.
Okay, and when do we have to make the decision? That's the key question for me.
You do not have to make the decision until probably, I would say, at the end of next week.
Okay. My suggestion is that we all go away and talk about it with our, looks like, daughters everywhere. And
what would be great is if you all discussed it this weekend and then let me know what your gut feeling is on Monday.
Can I ask, one of the big attractions for us of the Leap was the 4-week organised trip, the 4 weeks being quite key given everything else going on in life and other commitments. Is there an option for a 4-week trip? So, because at the moment it's 4 weeks plus 11 days, would there be an option for a 4-week trip where leaving roughly the same time and roughly getting back the same time, in between which we fit in some coordinated, organised adventure type trip that would fit in that time period? 4 weeks, 5 weeks, but the whole of that being, so the attraction at the beginning was approximately the month, and it's the whole thing being coordinated and organised. Is that an option? So from start to finish, from day one leaving and then returning, having the organised trip
In Mexico, so it's all wrapped up in one.
Yeah.
Yes, that is an option. That is an option. I could discuss that with Chris and work on that one.
So would that be like 3 weeks in Costa Rica and 10 days in Mexico, all organised?
Yes.
Is that what we're saying?
We could do that. We could look into that.
Can I ask what happens if Mexico goes on the red list?
Well, then we're back to square one. So this is
the Kenya trip. They're going back via Egypt, aren't they? And they've gone on the red list.
They've gone on the red list. So we're just diverting them, and now they're going back. We haven't sorted them out yet, but I think they're going to go back by Spain, Egypt to Spain.
Right. Okay.
Ow.
Oh yeah, the insurance. Sorry.
No, go, Shona.
Sorry. How? Where is insurance? Yeah. Sorry. How has the insurance affected being on the red list?
The insurance that's not affected at all. The battle face insurance that covers you regardless of the Foreign Office advice.
Right. Okay. Sorry, I interrupted somebody.
So, what do you need from us as a group now in order to move forward?
I want you to tell me on Monday whether you're wanting to pursue the Costa Rica, and as you've said, Annabelle, pursue it, or if you're like, no thanks, this is all too much. So I know who I'm working for and with, and your set of parameters.
And the minimum number you have to, you said was 6 or 7. Is that what you said?
Yeah, 6 or 7 to make it. It's not just viable. It's to give that team experience.
Yeah.
Mm. And is there? I mean, the thing is, things are moving on a dime at the moment, aren't they? So even if you said, actually, we could divert all of you for the entire time to Guatemala, and then this isn't by the time they come home, or, I mean, are you thinking along those lines at all?
Say again, diverting the whole group to Guatemala.
So you're saying a yes or no to the Costa Rica experience, but is there any room for saying to all of this group who are set on Costa Rica, if we send all of you for the whole 4 weeks to Guatemala instead of Costa Rica, this stops being an issue? Is that a possibility?
Yeah, annoyingly, Guatemala is not, we could have done, but we can't enter Guatemala unless you've been out of England for 2 weeks. So that's not an option. And Mexico, we just don't have any ground operators in Mexico to suddenly create a 4-week plan in Mexico. We could divert you all and say, look, just we know Namibia works like a dream, and it's super easy to fly out of Namibia straight into Spain and then home. That's easy peasy. You know, that we could just say, look, just stop this, guys, let's just move you all to Namibia. Yes, we could do that. But what we've learned from experience, when we cancelled Namibia back in February, we then got angry emails saying, but I would have gone regardless. So this is the open forum to tell me what you want, you know, you know,
Right.
I don't want to take the dream away from you if you're all saying to me, come on, just relax. No, we want to go, you know, we're going to go regardless, and we're going to go to Mexico. But if the majority of you are saying, no way, are we doing this? Then we'll call it quits and we'll rethink the whole plan again.
I think it would be a shame to cut the Costa Rica trip down to 3 weeks or whatever. Because, you know, with the program that, you know, you've put together so far, you know, the 4 weeks really works for what you've sort of set up. I think to try and condense it even more. And it already has been condensed, hasn't it, from last year?
You know, the adventure program is brand new. It was always 4 weeks. The Plastic Oceans is complete.
Okay. So I'm getting muddled up with Rosie's trip. But I think for you, you wanted to do the 4 weeks in Costa Rica, don't you?
Yeah.
So,
Yes. Yeah. So can you see any circumstance where they're going to be completely stranded and not being able to get home?
No, that is not today's problem. Your worst case scenario is Heathrow Airport for 11 days.
Okay.
That's your backstop. The days of borders closing is not today's threat.
Yeah. So whatever happens, whatever goes on the red list, they will be able to come home within the 11 days after the Costa Rica trip.
Correct.
Okay.
And you might say to me, actually, I can't be bothered with any of this. I'm coming straight back and I'm just going to go straight into that hotel and be done with it. You know, there is that, you know, nobody, you know, then you know, you could do that, but I wouldn't advise that.
Yeah.
From a cost point of view, it's sort of comparable, isn't it? So if you're saying it's $1,500, the cost of staying in a hotel in Heathrow, is that £1,700?
Yeah. So it would add up if you do the Chris's kind of scripted tour. If you just went backpacking, or you went into a backpacking around, you know, Cancun, you could do that really cheaply. You could do that for $30 a day.
Yes.
You know, that's cheap. If you went into Madrid and you all went into an Airbnb, again, much, much cheaper.
Yes. Okay.
It sounds like a no-brainer to me.
I think so.
Which bit?
I think
Just the Costa Rica we're all excited about.
Yes.
And you know what? Everything's changing. And at the moment, there's a way through, and let's deal with it if not. And actually, if all of you guys talk on email over the next couple of days, you all get to know each other. You just decide whether you prefer Mexico or Spain for a route back.
Yeah. That's, I think, where we are.
Yeah.
Have you got everybody's mobile number? Why don't, Zoe, let's send the girls everyone's email, everyone's WhatsApp.
Great.
Perfect.
Have you got a WhatsApp group started?
We have a WhatsApp group.
Okay. Will you start nattering this weekend?
Yeah.
Are all of you on the WhatsApp group? Because I think you said that they weren't.
I don't know.
We will send you a group email with everyone's telephone number on it. So whoever's the chief in charge of setting up the WhatsApp group can add everybody on.
The key, I think, is the 13 people going, because if you can all, or you know, if all of you can agree, then you're going to have an amazing time and you'll all be together, and that's going to be the key to it. If there's only 6 of you, I think it becomes less sort of viable. But if you 13 can get on and decide together, then it is a no-brainer, I think.
but you know, it's an adventure. Just to give you an example of the Namibia lot. Okay, so this has happened to us. The Namibia lot arrived in Namibia. Well, a week before they went to Namibia, Namibia went on the red list. We said, don't worry, you're going to go to Kenya for 2 weeks. Okay, we will change their flights. They were in the air going to Kenya. And as they were in the air, Kenya went on the red list. So when they arrived in Kenya, it was like, don't worry, give us 24 hours, we'll find you a plan. And then lovely Mohammed came up with a plan in Egypt. And 2 weeks later, they flew to Egypt.
And had a fabulous time.
And had a fabulous time. And that was my point. You know, they set off thinking they're doing 4 weeks in Namibia, and they nailed Namibia, nailed Kenya, nailed Egypt. Egypt being the highlight because they were seeing the highlights of Egypt with not a single tourist in sight. So good things come out of bad things. But you've all got to be in that mindset, galvanize each other and go, come on, this isn't a worry. This is what we're going to nail this. Okay, this is part of the adventure, and what the flexibility that you're all going to learn, the agility in your mindset is one of the greatest things that's going to come out of this year for your peer group.
I agree.
Perfect. It strikes me the most important thing is that they're all in touch and in agreement, so you know what you're dealing with.
Yeah. So why don't you all chinwag this weekend? There's no real sense of urgency. I don't want anyone to book any flights or do any admin. Okay, it's now just, if you have done your admin, it can all be unresolved when it comes to flights. So don't worry about that. Let's just get the group dynamic, the group mood.
Right, and there are 13
No,
kids.
there are so far 11 kids.
Right.
Everybody in that group. So he's sending the telephone number now. There's 11, but it's early days.
It's early days, and about what 4 or 5 of them are on this chat. So that's about
1, 2,
half.
3, 4, 5. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Stick with. It's early days. You've got 3 weeks. I'm most worried about the group leaving on Saturday next week. They're all booked. Admin.
You're amazing.
Huh?
Yeah. Millie, thank you. I have to say, as a parent, I think you're being amazing making this happen for them. It's and as a parent, it's real comfort to have someone as kind of pragmatic and sensible. So thank you.
That's my pleasure. Thank you for saying thank you. Thank you. It's communal thanks.
Thank you. Thank you.
No, big thank you.
Okay, so get chatting and excuse
Okay,
me.
bye.
Thank you
Okay.
very much.
Have a lovely weekend.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks a lot. Lee.
Bye.
Love you.